And we're back. I don't know what happened before this. Either way, we're back with Echo. Alright, let's just get going, because if I say anything else, we're going to get onto a side tangent.
Alan, I have a question.
No. You can be quiet.
We're doing this. We're going.
Okay, so we're doing this.
The walk to Leo's house is short, only about 15 minutes, but it feels like it takes much longer than that. Every tiny sound makes me jump, and I'm steeling myself for a moment when I see that creature again. Nothing happens, though. No screaming and no gunshots. Aside from the crickets, the town is dead quiet. Still, we keep to the shadows, cutting through some backyards and sagebrush, probably picking up dozens of spiders and ticks along the way. It's funny, despite everything that's going on, spiders are the biggest thing that are on my mind as I push through the branches and foliage. Oh, God. Finally, the wolf's small house appears out of the dusty, dark night. Leo walks ahead of us with TJ. TJ asked to walk on his own halfway here, and now he's clinging to Leo's hand like a kid afraid of getting lost at the mall. I don't blame him. As we're walking up to the house, though, Leo stops. Kudzu, Carl, and I crowd around behind him.
What is it?
He puts a finger to his lips, then points to the window on the side of his house. It's broken.
Ah, crap.
Leo lets go of TJ's hand, then makes a stay here motion with the other one, as he starts creeping towards the house. With some difficulty and a few awkward sounds, Leo pulls his gun out of his wet pants. I scream internally at the thought of Leo going in alone, but he is the only one with a weapon now. Apparently, Kudzu had lost his during the whole lake incident, which Leo is pretty pissed about. Leo tries the door, then disappears inside, reaching out to make sure the screen door doesn't bang shut behind him. And then he was gone. We stand there in the silence for a moment, then Kudzu whispers,
Hey, let's stand back just in case.
Yeah, okay. Kudzu turned toward the road while I faced towards Leo's house. TJ and Carl stand on either side of us. TJ hasn't said a word since Leo put him down. Ever since what happened at the lake, something in him snapped.
When did we...
What the fuck did it... Wait, where are you? How?
What?
Where Carl?
I don't remember.
Okay,
Wait, I remember.
So no.
Oh, yeah,
Carl was here.
I remember.
We did go to his house.
I remember. It took me a bit.
Good.
remember the snake monster.
No. Okay. Yep. I'm good now.
Matt, are you here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe we should have just gone to my place.
No, this is my route. We've already done your route.
Carl gazes
Fuck
upside.
you.
Okay, well then.
Fuck you, Leo.
Well, Carl and Leo have a bit of a fucking bickering match, while Carl also gazes up sadly towards the mountain, his mansion somewhere hidden in darkness.
I don't know. If somebody broke into Leo's place to steal stuff, they definitely want to do the same to yours.
Knowing this town, Kudzu is probably right. Most of the people here resented Carl's family and the way their mansion looked over the whole town. Like they're taunting us, people would say. I keep my eyes on the house, trying to see through the black windows. Leo hasn't turned any lights on, of course, so I can't really see anything. Listening doesn't bring any clues either.
So, what do you guys think that thing was?
I don't know. I still think it was a kind of animal.
It practically bent the car in half. I say it with the side of my mouth, away from TJ.
Maybe we should go inside? Probably safer in there, even if there's a burglar or whatever.
Didn't the mayor say something about it? Like that it only kills if we're trying to leave? I glance back at Kudzu. Is that what she was talking about? Kudzu shakes his head and shrugs his shoulders.
I really don't know, Chase.
So we go back to waiting. I'm about to mention that maybe we should move closer to the house, just in case, when we hear a scream. It comes from inside Leo's house, and it definitely doesn't sound like Leo. Carl squeaks next to me.
Shit!
I'm already running up the stairs, though, and I hear the others following closely behind. I push through the door, almost running headlong into the bench where we're supposed to take off your shoes. Leo! I shout just as I realize it was probably a bad idea.
Yeah, Chase.
Idiot.
A moment passes where the only sound I can hear is the heavy breathing of my friends behind me. Then,
Down here. Turn on the lights.
his voice comes from the hallway, and it's calm. I move Paul
Sorry,
along
down here. Turn on the lights.
Okay, well, he repeated himself and made me feel stupid about myself now.
Well, you said I was calm, and I thought I was scared, you know.
Okay, well then. I move a paw along the wall before finding the light switch, revealing the kitchen. We move down the hallway, towards Leo's room, where I can see that the light is on. I find Leo standing over his own bed. In the bed, I see someone else. A little polecat, disheveled in a tank top, looking even more skeletal than usual. It's Clint, curled up in a little ball, cowering. Leo has his gun pointed on him. So, I don't remember who was Clint before, but I think it should be Seb right now, because I know when Flynn is going to show up, and it's going to be a while still.
Okay.
Clint is going to show up?
This is a good time to try out your nasally southern voice, Sebastian. I believe in you.
Wait. Please don't shoot me. I just needed a place to stay.
Leo inches the gun lower.
Then why aren't you at your own place?
Kudzu and Carl stand next to me, while TJ stays in the doorway, gazing in at us from the dim hallway. Leo raises his gun again, and I actually think he's about to shoot Clint. Clint raises his paws, whining.
Leo, wait, he helped me find Chase.
What?
Leo glances at Kudzu, then back at Clint.
He came to my door last night, told me he saw Chase in the trailer.
I'm confused too, but I guess I never asked Kudzu how exactly he was able to find me. My mind immediately flashes back to when I saw Clint peering in at me in the trailer, asking Brian for drugs.
I might not have found Chase if he hadn't told me.
Clint nods enthusiastically to that, but Leo doesn't lower the gun. Wait, Leo, Clint hasn't done anything to hurt us since it started. Just...
Everyone's gone fucking crazy. Might as well get rid of him before he gets a chance at it too.
Leo!
What are you doing, Leo?
I'm gonna shoot this motherfucker. That's what's gonna do.
Psychopath.
Leo's got a hardened look on his face that I don't recognize at all.
Wait. I know how to get out of here. I think.
Leo's stance falters, but only just.
What do you mean?
That's why I'm here. Just get the gun off of me for a sec. I'll explain.
Clint is twitchy and keeps scratching at his chest and arms. It comes off like he was able to find those drugs after all.
Come on, Leo. It's all of us against him. He can't do anything to us. Also, I have to go for a minute.
Okie doke. Leo keeps his gun up for a few seconds and then finally lowers it with a dismissive grunt.
Alright, fine. How are we supposed to get out of here?
Clint slowly pushes himself up to sit against the frame of Leo's bed, clearing his throat.
Well, I think it might have something to do with the train yard.
There's a moment's silence as we all wait for Clint to go on. He just stares back at us, though. Well, stares at the gun in Leo's paws. Since Harry's gone for the moment, Hannah, you want to be Kudzu?
Sure. Clint?
Huh?
Clint doesn't look at Kudzu as his eyes remain fixated on the pistol.
Leo, just put the gun down for a second, okay? On the dresser behind you or something.
Leo shakes his head.
I'm not risking our lives again, Cud.
Leo fixes Clint with a glare.
The most I'm going to do is keep the gun off you, Clint.
Clint flinches when Leo says his name. I look over and see Carl twisting his paws around the pockets of his hoodies, his eyes wide. TJ, on the other hand, is still standing in the hall, his eyes glinting softly in the dim lighting. For some reason, I get the feeling that he's looking at me.
Tell us now.
Leo's tone turns dark, and I look over, half expecting him to have the gun up again. It's still pointed at the carpet, but I can practically see Leo's fingers twitching against the trigger guard. He
Leo
looks
just wants to
almost
shoot
excited.
something.
The Leo I know would never be so eager to kill someone, even if that someone happens to be Clint. I hope that when this is over, if we get out of this somehow, Leo is able to get back to that old self.
Hey,
Clint's shaking so badly he can barely speak. Finally, Kudzu steps in between them.
Oh, Leo.
Okay.
If you want to keep the gun, that's fine. But can you at least step into the hallway? Maybe he'll calm down enough.
No.
Kudzu stops short, but I can see him set his jaw, drawing up his shoulders.
Someone actually might have some information to get us out of here, and all you want to do is scare him?
I can see Leo puffing himself up too, and I don't like the look in his eyes. So I step forward on Kudzu's right, practically blocking Clint from Leo's line of sight. When I do, Leo's eyes snap to mine, the simmering snarl disappearing from his muzzle. Leo, come on.
Otter, move out of the way.
His tone is gentle, like I'm some kind of kid. No, Leo, you're acting weird right now. Just calm down for a sec, okay? Leo frowns at me.
Hey, I'm just trying to keep this all safe.
I see the wolf.
Why do
leaning
I-
his head- Yeah?
This feels very familiar to a character of mine.
Uh-huh.
Oh no, I'm the asshole all along.
Don't worry, we can talk about this after the recording.
Oh.
I see the wolf leaning his head to the side a little, like he's trying to keep an eye on Clint. Leo, let's go out in the hall. Kudzu... I give the raccoon a sidelong glance. Can handle him for a few minutes, right? Kudzu nods. I take a few cautious steps towards Leo. He's looking between me and Kudzu now, and there's a different look on his face. One that I'm having trouble placing. I reach out and gently touch his arm. The muscles are hard, his biceps standing out thickly under his fur. Still, I gently try to push him toward the door. As I do, I feel him go a little slack, and, with a whole lot of relief on my part, he finally starts moving towards the hall. Carl, still gaping at the whole scene, suddenly seems to snap out of it and hurriedly moves out of our way into the hall. Leo reluctantly continues to shuffle down the hallway as I put an arm around his side, hugging him to me. He responds with the same gesture. We pass a solemn-looking TJ, his eyes following me as we move towards the kitchen. You okay, TJ? He doesn't say anything, instead just slowly following us into the kitchen. His fur is all spiky and mussed up from the plunge into the lake, and his clothes look uncomfortably damp. That gives me an idea. Why don't we get all our clothes into the dryer? Then maybe we can have something to eat? There's a moment of silence, neither TJ nor Leo giving me any response. Carl gives a muffled cough, though.
Actually, I could go for some food.
About 20 minutes later, Carl, TJ, and I are sitting in the laundry room, putting our clothes through a dryer. I can hear Leo in the kitchen, frying something up on the stove. While I should be worried about not keeping an eye on him, he's calmed down considerably since we were in his bedroom. Also, the laundry room is between the kitchen and bedroom, so it'd be pretty hard for him to get past me without seeing. So I keep watch, leaning against the wall, staring out into the dark hallway. Carl sits on the dryer, vibrating along with it, while TJ sits on the floor, cross-legged, looking at nothing.
This feels so good on my ass, dude.
What, the vibration?
Oh.
Don't worry, they're wearing underwear.
No, my head went somewhere else with that sentence.
Oh.
With the previous. Yeah.
No. The heat. I was freezing and I didn't even realize it.
Carl knocks his hooves against the side of the metal dryer.
Hey, Teej, wanna join me up here?
No, thank you.
You could just lean up against the
Boxer
side.
TJ.
You gotta be cold too.
This time TJ doesn't say anything, and I finally look away from the hallway. TJ, are you okay? Do you want to talk? TJ looks up at me again, with those emotionless eyes.
No.
He says it so quietly, it's almost like he didn't say anything at all. I hold his gaze for a while before looking away.
Don't worry about it, Teej. We're gonna be out of here in no time.
Carl slides off the dryer, his damp underwear squeaking loudly against the metal as he clops to the ground. He gives a few strategic tugs at his underwear to probably loosen the wedgie he just created. Then he sits down on the ground in front of TJ, cross-legged as well. TJ barely looks up at him and notices the links trembling slightly.
Listen, back at my house, I was like stuck in this weird trap version of my house. Like there was no exit.
TJ finally glances at the ram.
And well, I thought I was going to be stuck forever, and I was panicking. It was like a nightmare that wouldn't end. But then, right when I was giving up, you guys woke me up. I mean, sure, I sort of woke up in another nightmare, but it at least was with you guys, right?
If you're shifting, then the bedroom door swings open fully, and Kudzu appears, slipping out and closing the door quietly behind him. The raccoon spots me and moves over to stand next to me, his ears perked. Hey.
Hey.
I see Kudzu's nose twitch at the air, looking towards the kitchen.
Leo?
He's cooking.
So,
how'd it go? You were in there for a while. Kudzu sighs and leans against the wall of the hallway, looking back at the closed door.
I don't know, really. Said something about a train going through here the past few days after everything started.
Through the rail yard?
And that's what he says.
Huh. That didn't make much sense. That rail yard had been abandoned for the past at least 50 years. Are you sure he isn't just like the rest of us, seeing things? Kudzu shrugs.
Ghost train.
I really don't know. Hard to tell with a guy like that.
Yeah.
Well, remember some guys inspected the rails a few weeks ago? Maybe they opened it up again?
That idea also seems strange to me, but I don't know much about trains. So, what is there... So, if there is a train going through here, are we just gonna jump onto it?
That was his plan anyway.
Sounds like fun.
My mind jumps to Robert Smith and what exactly happened to him when he tried to hop a train. Even if we were able to get on a train, could that creature thing still get to us? It was able to knock the car into the lake, so I don't know how capable it is. So when does the train come?
He's not sure. He said it seemed random.
I sigh loudly. Then we all jump as the dryer finishes with a loud grating buzz. I shakily rubbed my face, then moved to open the dryer. Well, let's at least get our clothes back on, then we can go into the kitchen and tell Leo what's going on. We all sit at the table, eating quietly as Kudzu tells Leo everything. The food looks like some kind of vegetable stir-fry. The first bite reminds me that I'm starving, and it's hard to just try. It's hard not to just try and shove all of it into my mouth at once. Carl, sitting across from me, does just that.
That sounds like a load of bullshit.
Kudzu
You
shrugs.
sound like a load of bullshit.
Hey,
I don't know.
Hey, GJ.
What's going on? Why would he
At
lie
least,
anyway?
at least I didn't kill a kid and watch them drown once.
What the
I
fuck?
didn't do that.
Woof.
What?
What?
You're throwing out some
Uh,
accusations there, Leo.
Yeah.
Did you say drown children?
Yep.
Those are strong
I
words.
never-
Those are fun words.
Those are definitely fighting words.
TJ was picking on me, and I just...
No, hold on. You need to go to church.
Oh, church.
Okay,
Best
the talk
where
of child
ever.
murder just made me realize something.
Mhm.
The game takes place in 2015. Five Nights at Freddy's was one of the biggest games at this point.
Oh,
This is
Lord.
March of 2015. This is before the fourth game came out and after the third game.
Yep.
Child murders. Woo.
I don't know why like that all clicked into my head the second we talked about child murder.
I don't know.
Sorry, I distracted us. I was just getting amused by all the judgment that was getting thrown my way.
Well, maybe you shouldn't have killed the child then.
Ha.
Only the child is going to hurt Chase.
So is this episode going to be called Child Murder Accusations?
No, because that would definitely not fly on YouTube.
Okay.
That sounds good.
You know,
YouTube's algorithm.
There's an offensive word in that title, and that word is child.
Yeah.
Yep.
What?
It's a joke.
Children are offensive.
To buy himself some time.
Kudzu closes his eyes for a second, breathing in deeply.
Listen, Leo. There's no way he's going to try anything. He's scared out of his mind right now.
Duke was scared. Didn't stop him from trying to kill us. Probably worse than he's scared.
Leo looks up the hallway, towards the bedroom, and I'm starting to not like the look in his eyes again.
In fact, I'm wondering why we haven't left him in the room alone in the first fucking place.
Leo starts to show his teeth. I reach out and rest a paw on the wolf's arm, again feeling the tensing of the muscles underneath the fur. Hey, don't worry about it. But he jerks his arm away and suddenly turns on me.
Why the hell are you on his side of this shit? You were with that fucking bear. You know what these crazies are doing.
I wince internally at being reminded of the incident, but I try again, reaching out. Yeah, but Clint isn't Brian. You know he was pushed around by that bear too. Leo pulls his arm further away from me. He's looking back and forth between me and Kudzu again.
What is this? You're both acting like I'm the crazy one.
No shit.
I wonder why.
The wolf pushes his chair back from the table.
I heard you whispering shit in the hallway. You've been saying things behind my back.
Yeah.
Leo narrows his eyes at Kudzu.
Oh no, the music.
Whoa, dude, chill.
Why don't you keep eating, Carl?
Poor Carl.
Didn't do shit.
Carl tried for once to stand up in this round, and he's being immediately shot down.
Yeah, he's like, so what are you, dude, what's up? And what an awful comeback. Go freaking eat food, asshole.
Yeah, that's the thing is, Leo hit full insanity in my opinion a while back now, and he's just fully embracing it at this point. Leo shifts his gaze towards the bedroom again before abruptly standing up.
I'm gonna check on him.
Leo. I start to stand up as well, but Kudzu is one step ahead of me. He moves to intercept the wolf, both hands out.
Come on, Leo.
But he doesn't get to finish. Instead, the wolf goes straight into him, grabbing one of his arms and punching at his face. Kudzu sees it coming and is able to duck, but he's not quite fast enough. Leo's knuckles glance off the raccoon's muzzle, knocking his head around. Leo keeps hold of the arm and swings Kudzu around, away from the hallway and back into the kitchen. Kudzu takes the fall rather well, going into a sort of roll. He does end up banging against Carl's chair, but he comes up on one knee, panting and staring up at Leo. His nose is bleeding. What the fuck? I'm standing before I know it, and moving around the table to stand at Kudzu's side. I look him over, trying to see if Leo had done him any serious damage before I look back at the wolf. What are you doing? Carl clumsily tries to help the raccoon up, his ears flat against his head. Leo breathes heavily, staring down at Kudzu before his eyes flick to me.
Get away from him.
What?
Get away from him.
This time there's a growly quality to his voice, and I see his fingers drift toward his belt. I do move away from Kudzu, but only just. I don't want either of us getting shot. Leo turns his attention to Kudzu.
You. Out.
Kudzu stares up at the wolf for only a moment before getting briskly to his feet. His breathing is so erratic, I'm wondering if he's going to have a panic attack. He gives me a single glance before hurrying out of the kitchen. I want to stop him, get in his way like he did Leo's. But the look on Leo's face right now has me frozen, and I can't do or say anything as I watch the raccoon's tail disappear. I hear the door swing open, then bang shut. I look back and almost jump as I see Leo's eyes are still on me, studying me. He stares a little while longer before turning away and stomping loudly down the hall. Carl is frozen next to me, and TJ just sits there, his eyes down on his plate, food untouched. Still numb, I have to force myself to walk forward, following Leo, terrified of what's about to happen. Leo, wait! Oh, well, I said that wrong. My voice is too quiet, too soft for the wolf to even hear me. The door ahead of me swings open. There's a moment of silence, then Leo curses loudly, and I run to the doorframe, looking inside, not sure what I'm about to find. What I find is nothing. No one's inside. The covers of the bed are thrown back, the window wide open.
See? I told you!
Leo's voice goes from an almost scream to a hushed whisper as he moves to the window, looking out into the night. He slides the window shut, then locks it.
Is exactly what I was worried about.
What? Inside, I'm relieved more than anything. For some reason, I'm positive that if Clint was still here, or if Leo had caught him in the act of trying to escape, I don't doubt that he would have tried to shoot him.
Stupid fucking raccoon, thinking he knew what was best.
Wait, is that you, Hannah, saying something in the background for DJ?
Nope.
No.
I was hearing somebody talking in the background, and it just sounds like somebody's like going, "Oh no, you shouldn't say those swear words."
Wasn't me. I don't live with anybody else.
Oh no, it's funny. I don't know who it was. I just found it funny.
Gotcha.
Leo continues to peer out of the window. His ears perked up.
I know what the hell's best for us. Thinks he can just come in and tell everyone what to do. See what happens.
I start to move back into the hallway, toward the kitchen, but Leo suddenly whirls around on me. His frown turns into a sort of uncertain smile.
Hey, Otter, are you okay?
I don't say anything. I just stare at him.
Otter?
Vaguely, I can hear Carl clopping around uncertainly in the hallway, probably too afraid to get close. I try to speak, then wet my lips. Yeah? Leo extends a paw.
Come here. Did I scare you?
I fidget with my paws. No.
Well, come on then.
Slowly, I move into the wolf's room. Despite my dragging feet, my mind is racing, trying to decide what the hell is going on and what the hell I'm going to do. Leo's lost it. There's no question about that. It's something I sort of known for the past day, ever since we found him in Duke's basement. And now it's getting worse. A lot worse. Still, I continue to move toward him, like I'm in some sort of dream. Soon, he's got me wrapped up in his arms, and despite the warmth, despite the strength that I feel in them, I don't feel good about it at all. I'm just scared.
Hula.
He breathes into my ear, sending shivers down my spine.
Told you I'm going to protect you. I'm going to keep you safe. That's exactly what I'm going to do.
He starts rocking me back and forth, shifting us around his feet like we're doing some kind of half dance at prom. He's moved us around so I'm able to look out the door, and I can see Carl's horns, his eyes fearfully peering into the room.
That raccoon, he wasn't good for you.
Good for me. He helped me. Leo gives me a squeeze that almost knocks the breath out of my lungs. That cuts me off.
Maybe. Maybe not. I could see him acting strange. Kind of like the others.
The wolf continues to rock us back and forth as I continue to look over Leo's shoulders, seeing in Carl's eyes that this is definitely fucked up. I don't say anything else to Leo, worried about how he might take it if I try to convince him that Kudzu was only trying to help us.
I'm going to get you all out of here, like I should have done from the beginning, okay?
He gives me a little shake when I'm silent a little too long. Okay.
Okay.
And he keeps rocking me like that for what seems like hours. And when we make another revolution, I can see that Carl's not there anymore. Then I hear something. Soft at first, then louder and louder. Leo stops dancing with me. I make out the rhythmic, dull metallic sound, accompanied by a horn. A train? TJ and Carl are standing at the back door, staring out into the night. Leo pushes past them, ears perked as he tries to see through the darkness. The train sounds incredibly close, almost like it's only feet away. Should we go to it, like Clint said? Leo pauses, his nose twitching before he waves his paw at us.
You guys stay here. I'm gonna have a look.
Leo. And just like that, the wolf disappears into the night, leaving us behind. I stare out into the night.
So, guess Clint wasn't shitting us after all, huh?
Yeah. All I can think about right now, though, is Kudzu. Did he hear the train right now? Was he on his way over there?
Wait, why are you thinking about Kudzu?
No particular reason, no. Nothing.
Why can't you accept that I'm just better?
and you're a freaking psychotic.
You couldn't
prick,
live
Leo.
with your failure, Leo. And where did that bring you? Back to me.
Leo's super
Well.
trigger happy too.
Here on this
This
channel,
Bang.
here on this channel, we stand a short king named Kudzu.
Kudzu!
Hail the king.
Kudzu is the true main character.
Kudzu, the one we're actually rooting for.
Honestly,
Leo, the
Kudzu,
one.
if I was stuck in Echo, Kudzu would be like the best ally you could get in out of everyone within Echo. Genuinely, like Kudzu could just do whatever. He doesn't seem to he doesn't seem to ever snap. Kudzu's just like the best friend you could have during a horror situation in Echo, at least.
Yeah, no, basically.
Kudzu is the example of the exact opposite of normal raccoons, which unironically makes him the best.
I look to my
Like
right.
the simple fact that he has the build of a insane, crazy murder machine that does nothing but 10 cc's of crack cocaine, but is actually calm and level-headed is kind of like Captain America if Captain America was Ultron. It's terrifying.
What?
All right, let's get back to the plot.
Now I'm picturing Captain America as Ultron.
I look to my right, towards Kudzu's house, only a few hundred feet away. Quietly, I start stepping outside.
Chase?
Carl's voice behind me is timid, scared. I look back at him, able to make out the whites of his eyes in the darkness. TJ lurks behind him, staring at me as well, though far more stoically. I'll be right back. I just need to check on Kudzu. Everything that Kudzu had done for me up to this point, saving me multiple times, making sure I was doing okay, nursing me back to health. Hell, even helping me with my project before all this shit went down. I'm not going to abandon him. Just like with Leo when he was imprisoned by Duke, I feel like it's my responsibility. Only this time the urge is even stronger. I had to make sure Kudzu makes it out of here like the rest of us. Carl, though, doesn't look so enthusiastic about that.
I don't think if that's such a good idea. You saw Leo.
Carl looks over my shoulder, and I do the same, worried that maybe the wolf was coming back. But all I see is darkness. I realize then that Carl is just as afraid of the wolf as I am right now. I swear, I'm only going to be away for a few minutes. If Leo asks, tell him I don't know. Just tell him I needed some air.
That
Dead Chase.
Yeah, this is a bad idea, Dance.
I get it, though.
I don't wait for Carl to finish his sentence. My eyes slowly adjust, but it's too dark to really see anything more than 5 feet. Also, I want to point this out. So you know as much as we give Chase shit for, like, being a dumbass during a horror scenario, you gotta admit, he does have actually, like, a genuinely good heart where he's like, I'm not leaving anyone to die.
Yeah, no, I this one I don't blame him for.
Like, even back earlier in this, he could have fled with Kudzu, he could have fled with Leo and Kudzu, but he was like, no, we gotta find TJ, we gotta find Carl. And even now, I bet if he finds Kudzu, there's gonna be a part of him that goes, we can't leave Jenna and we can't leave Flynn.
Yep. Oh, shit, there'd be a part of him that says we need to try to help Leo. Like, he's a good dude.
Yeah, Chase, very much, like I said with my theory way back when, he's the heart of the group, and it's probably because he genuinely does care about everyone as well, whether or not the group fully recognizes that too. Though I will fully admit, Chase isn't the best of people at times, so. Alright, back to this. The amount of stars overhead is almost dazzling, but it's not enough light to help me see. In fact, it's almost disorienting. The way the bright powdered look of the sky clashes with the black horizon of the mountains. Focusing on it too much makes my stomach turn, and I turn my eyes down, trying to focus on the barely visible ground instead. Until my face slams right into something big, hard, and full of twigs. Jesus fucking goddamn it! I shout, whisper into my paws, covering my nose, afraid for a second that maybe I ran one of my eyes through. A quick but shaky examination with my fingers puts that fear to ease, though now I feel like my muzzle has gone flat into my face. That jolt makes me feel all the aches of my past 2 incidents with cars. I stand there in the dark for a moment, gathering my senses. It's almost completely silent now. The train, if it was a train, has passed us by at this point. The metallic clanks and rushing sound is far behind me. Standing in the silence, though, is starting to give me second thoughts. I'm pretty sure there aren't any trees between Leo and Kudzu's house. Did I get off track somehow? Something cracks a little ways ahead of me, and I freeze up, my ears twitching. I listen hard, trying to hear anything above the crickets. Okay, yeah, this was really fucking stupid. I remember that I'm not all that far away from Leo's house and look back at the yellow squares of the windows in the distance. I should probably go back to reorient myself and try to get back to Kudzu's house again. As I'm turning around, though, Another crack behind me, followed by a muffled voice.
This is me.
I think it is you, yeah.
Crap.
I freeze at the voice. I open my mouth to try and quietly call out, but stop myself. I can't be sure, but it sounded like Kudzu, albeit muffled and low-pitched. I decide to wait a while longer, with one foot pointed toward Leo's house. And then, this time the sound is right next to me and jump in the air. I make a run for the house and immediately trip over several rocks, going face first into the ground. I'm scrambling at the ground with my paws and feet when I hear the voice again.
Whoa, Chase.
I slump back into the ground in relief. Oh my god, Kudzu! What the hell are you doing? I feel the raccoon's paws feel over me, then pull me back up to my feet.
I heard a train, then I saw someone. Are you okay?
From the faint light of the stars, I can make out the cut from Kudzu's ears and the tip of his muzzle. My eyes have adjusted to the point where I can see even the mask in his fur. Yeah, I wanted to come get you, in case we were going to try to hop the train. I look over my shoulder, trying to listen for the train again.
Little late for that, eh?
Yeah, well, yeah, but I didn't want to leave you behind. I rub my face where I hit the branch, Listen, I don't know what's going on with Leo, but maybe we can go back and try to talk. Kudzu shakes his head.
Nah, I don't think he's gonna listen.
As much as I hate to admit it, Kudzu is probably right. Well, I'm not going to leave you out here. After everything we went through. I see a glint of white teeth as Kudzu gives me a smile. Blah, blah, blah. I see a glint of white teeth as Kudzu gives me a small smile.
Well, wow. Well, thanks, man. But really, you should probably get back before he...
At that moment, I realized something. Wait, what were you doing out here? You said you saw someone? Kudzu shifts slightly from one foot to the other.
I thought I did, at least.
Like someone from the town, or...
Think it was your friend?
What?
The, fox? Jenna?
Jenna? My eyes go wide, and I turn back to the darkness, squinting. Maybe if I look hard enough, I'll find that podcast symbol of Tuesdays with Jenna. Somewhere out there in the darkness.
It's like the bat symbol, but it's...
Tuesdays with Jenna.
Yeah. Jenna signal.
Where? Where did you see her? Kudzu turns to look at me. To look with me, then takes a few steps forward.
Well, going back to my trailer after the whole thing with Leo, then this fox girl just kind of jumped off the side of my house.
Foxy lady.
Where did she go?
Oh god.
My heart's hammering in my chest
Sorry.
right now as I strain to see her. Jenna's been on my mind since the very beginning, and her absence has only now become more prominent after finding the others.
Well, I think she went off in that direction.
Kudzu points into the darkness.
I could hear her running off, but then the footsteps stopped, and I thought she might have stopped and hid somewhere.
Come on, then. I motion Kudzu forward and step toward the blackness of the wilderness.
Hold on. I was gonna grab a flashlight. There's no way we're finding anything out here at this time of night.
You go get them. I'll wait. Of course, I'm terrified of being left alone, but I'm also terrified of Jenna running away if I don't keep watch. I get the feeling that she might be under the same influence that Carl or TJ had been earlier.
You sure?
Yeah, I want to stay here in case she comes back. In case she comes out. I wave him away.
Okay. But yell if something happens, alright?
Okay. Kudzu goes in and comes out within less than a minute, though it feels way longer than that. While he was gone, I risked a few loud whispers of Jenna's name, but I didn't get any response. Pretty soon, a beam of light sweeping the dirt, sagebrush, and cacti as we slowly make our way in the direction that Jenna had run. Apparently, it was through the backyard and out toward the desert. I'm worried that maybe she didn't stop running. Why was she running? Did she say anything? Okay, I'll try that again. Did she say anything? I whisper softly at Kudzu as I follow along with him, one hand on his shoulder.
No, just looked up at me and took off. Looked terrified of something.
I frown, my paw tightening a bit on the raccoon's shoulders. Maybe it's just because she doesn't know you, right? Maybe she was just heading to Leo's place.
Maybe.
You are an adorably wishful thinker.
I try to focus on the sea of pale glow in front of me, the bright cold light of the flashlight sucking the color out of the desert. The grays and whites all sort of blend together after a while, and the swinging motion of the beam starts to lull me into a weird hypnotic state. It's at this moment that I catch movement out of the corner of my eye, on the right, where the light isn't currently pointed. I hear the sound of shifting dirt and gravel, immediately followed by a bizarre, high-pitched snarl that makes me gasp in horror. I actually even piss myself a little as I see a glint of white teeth. Kudzu tries to swing the beam back in the direction of the sound, and at the same time, I try to pull him back with the paw on his shoulders. Whatever it is hits Kudzu hard, knocking him back and sending me stumbling away to land on my ass. The flashlight rolls away from the rack. Okay, what was that?
Kudzu gets hit in the head like every other scene.
Yeah, but notice the difference between him and Chase. Chase get hits and cries. Kudzu get hits and gets back up and says, "Is that all you got?"
Oh, he doesn't even just get hit and get back up. He gets hit, rolls, and never actually fell down.
Exactly. He's like, I didn't hear no bell.
The flashlight rolls away from the raccoon's paw and shines into my face, briefly blinding me. I can hear a loud, growling commotion right in front of me, along with the sound of Kudzu grunting. Numbly, I reach out and snatch up the flashlight, then turn it on the sounds. First, I see Jenna, her ears back, teeth bared, swinging her paws at the crumpled heap on the ground. That heap is Kudzu, and he's got his arms up in self-defense, snarling back, his eyes wide. Jenna! Just like that, the snarl drops from her face, and her eyes snap up to mine.
Ace?
But then the position is suddenly reversed as Kudzu grabs the fox by the wrist and practically barrel rolls.
Do a barrel roll.
Now Kudzu sits on her back as he keeps a hold on her wrist. Wait, stop! I rush over to them, grabbing Kudzu's upper arm, trying to pull his paw away from Jenna. It's okay, she's good. She recognizes me. Kudzu only hesitates for a moment before scrambling off the fox and backing away, breathing hard. Jenna quickly sits up, absent-mindedly brushing off her shirt as she looks up at me.
Oh my god, Chase.
She says it in a hushed whisper, putting a paw to her mouth. Jenna, are you okay? I reach down to help her up, and she immediately goes in to hug me. I stand there awkwardly for a moment as she buries her face into my shoulder, gasping for breath. I'm not sure if she's crying or not. Are you okay? I ask again, patting her back awkwardly.
Sorry. I'm fine.
Okay, I gotta get going. So I'll
Okay,
see you
then.
guys later.
Have a good night, Sam.
Have a good
Bye,
night,
Sam.
everyone.
Also, let me know when we should probably wrap it up, because I know we're starting late and all.
You know me, Alan.
I know
me.
you're going to be fine, but for the rest of you, what's the time that you need to call it?
I can.
We
I
don't.
can
I don't have to be nice to small children tomorrow. I just need to make a
Or
train
Well,
and then sleep on it.
well, packed. So, should we say like 11 or 11.
11 works.
Something like that.
Okay, we'll aim for 11 then. Jenna steps back and wipes her under her eye with the back of her palm.
I didn't know where any of you were.
Where were you? Jenna looks alright for the most part, except for a bunch of dirt on her clothes and in her fur. But then, I don't know if that's from before or after she was wrestling with Kudzu.
It's... I don't know. I was out in the desert and...
It's still dark, obviously, but I can make out from the frown on her face as she seems to struggle for words. Finally, Kudzu steps in.
Hey, let's get to my trailer. We can talk out. We can talk it out in there, alright?
Jenna silently nods, then seems to really focus on Kudzu.
Wait, who are you?
I step in for the raccoon. This is Kudzu. He's a friend. He saved me a bunch of times. That seems to be good enough for Jenna. With that out of the way, we all head back toward the trailer. Alright, who's fumbling with their mic?
Microphone.
Microphone.
Alright, well, it seems that whoever was fumbling with it is done now, so we're good to go. Quietly, Kudzu leads us... Oh, God. Sorry, my nose, immediately stuffed up, so I couldn't say anything for a second.
Good job.
Quietly, Kudzu lets us into his trailer, opening the screen door slowly so that it doesn't creak. He motions us inside. Jenna falls in behind me, pressing close. I suppose she has good reason to be weary of the place. She doesn't really know Kudzu, and at this point, it's hard to even trust the people you do know.
No, just don't trust me, that's all.
Kudzu closes the door and slides the lock in place. Jenna stands right next to me in the small living room area, arms folded tightly against her body, like she's hugging herself. Hey, you want to sit down? I gesture at the recliner, which Jenna stares at for a few seconds.
I don't know.
The fox's ears are twitching around and pointing straight up. I turn to the small love seat set against the wall instead. Maybe there. I can sit with you. After a few more moments of staring at the couch, Jenna finally nods. She walks stiffly... Alright.
I didn't do it.
Do what?
Somebody was
It was all
bumping into
Harry's
their
fault.
mic, so...
That was all Harry's fault.
I had not touched my mic in the slightest.
Too bad.
She walks stiffly over to the couch, looking at it for a moment before finally sitting down. I notice 3 clumped up patches of fur on the back of her neck. It takes me a moment to realize that it's dried blood. Had someone attacked her? Has she hurt herself? Jenna still doesn't react when we're settled. Instead, sat bolt upright, leaning hard against my shoulder. Much like her ears, her eyes are darting around, mostly over the curtained window to her right. Meanwhile, Kudzu elects to sit in the empty recliner after turning it a little to face us. The scraping sound it makes on the floor causes Jenna to jump. Kudzu pauses, blinking, then settles back in the recliner.
Sorry, I should have put a rug under this thing.
Jenna doesn't say anything, instead just looks back at the window. Kudzu shifts awkwardly in the chair, then looks at me. I look at Jenna, trying to think of something to say. Jenna beats me to it.
Do you know where the others are? TJ? Or Carl?
Oh yeah, they're at Leo's place. Them and Leo. Jenna frowns at me.
Then why are we here? Let's go.
Lee, I've got some issues.
She starts to stand up, but I reach out a paw and grabbing her arm. She flinches and yanks away from me, standing up fully. Sorry, just hold on a second. Wait, it's complicated.
It's complicated with Leo and Chase.
Why?
Jenna takes a step back from me, folding her arms. The look in her eyes is worrying, like she's starting to not trust me. Look, Leo, he's kind of uptight right now. I guess I just wanted to give him some space. Give myself some space, really, away from him. Kudzu shifts in his chair again.
He kicked me out. Things got a little heated between us.
Jenna looks at Kudzu, the deep brown still on her face.
Why? Leo wouldn't do that without a reason.
She looks back at me, as if wanting some sort of confirmation. I nod. Leo isn't really himself right now. I'm really worried about him.
Can we go over there and talk to him?
I open my mouth, but I pause, trying to think of the right way to say it. I don't know. Not right now. I'm not leaving Kudzu, so I'm gonna have to think of a way to get Leo to calm down. I'm also considering just staying separate from him until we can get out of here, but I don't want to tell Jenna that. She looks stressed out enough as it is. Now that I think about it, I wouldn't be surprised if Leo is out there, hunting for me right now. Odds are that he's going to come here eventually, maybe.
Here's Chasey.
Maybe he jumped the train already. That reminds me though. Oh yeah, we think we found a way out.
Really?
Yeah, apparently a train goes through here once in a while. We're thinking we can hitch a ride on it. Jenna takes that in, then just nods. The silence drags out for a minute or two before I finally lean towards her again. It's okay. Just sit down and relax for a minute. She does so, even with more hesitance than the first time. Sitting on the couch cushion like it might be a landmine. Okay, hello, frickin' Geoforce pop-up. Go the hell away.
Team Geoforce.
So, where were you these past few days? If you want to tell me, I mean. Jenna stares at the floor, then shrugs.
I don't really know. Kind of a blur.
I nod. Yeah, same.
I guess it happened 2-3 days ago? I don't remember. But everything was normal until TJ woke up. It was like he was in a trance or something. I wasn't sure what was wrong with him. I thought he may have been having a seizure, and then I thought he was in a psychosis of some kind. He left the motel and just started running, so I followed him. He ran all the way to the lake, and I was sure he was going to go in. But then he just stopped on the shore and stared at it. I caught up to him and tried to talk to him, but it was like I wasn't there. All he could say was your name, Chase. Chase. Where's Chase? I think he was looking in the water for you.
Jenna looks right at me.
I don't know why. Do you?
Of course not. I shake my head.
Oh, shit.
I have no idea. Liar. The couch tilts.
And so I sort of grabbed his shoulder to lead him back.
Wait.
From the
Alan,
lake.
can you go back? Because here's the thing. Sebastian should be the one to voice these.
True, I just don't want to tell how he should voice.
Okay. Never mind.
I mean, Seb, if you want to voice these real quick,
Sure.
if you want to just take a guess how you would voice.
Of course not. Liar.
I just grabbed his shoulder to lead him back, away from the lake. But then he turned on me, and he sort of just changed.
Water changed that day.
My head spins, and I brace my paws against the armrest, trying not to fall over.
And he attacked me, clawed me up.
And for the first time,
Jenna sticks out her arm and pulls back some of the fur where I can see bits of crusted blood.
you knew what water felt like.
I had to run from him, and he chased me for a while.
To everyone else.
And as I did, I realized the whole town was different. Everyone was different.
Suffocate.
I swallow hard, still gripping into the couch, but Jenna doesn't seem to notice, and Kudzu's looking at her. The humming in my head finally starts to die down.
You say he's at Leo's. Is he okay? Did he explain what happened?
I shake my head, but only a little. I feel like I'm going to throw up. No, but he's been acting a little strange, I guess.
I need to talk to him. Make sure he's actually okay.
We will. Though I'm not sure she'll find him okay at all.
So, what happened after that? It looked like you were hiding out there. Why were you on my roof?
Well, she was actually hiding on the side. He said jump up. You're the one who said jump off.
Oh,
Yep.
sorry.
It's okay.
I read that wrong and didn't realize it.
I
just
do love
wasn't
the
gonna
image
correct
though of Jenna just like a gargoyle just being like, I'm ready.
I am the Jenna. I am the knight.
Jenna the Dark Knight.
Kudzu gestures a paw at the window. Jenna covers her face with both paws, sighing deeply.
That I'm not too sure about. After I ran, it all sort of just became a dream. I only remember bits and pieces.
We wait a moment as Jenna seems to think.
I remember I went back to the motel, I think. But then I saw something.
Jenna pauses, then lets out a little humorless laugh.
Thing that I remember from my childhood. A monster, I guess.
A monster?
Yeah, like this thing.
Jenna waves her paw in front of her face.
Had like a red face, and I don't know. I thought I saw it in my closet a few times as a kid. Felt like it was chasing me.
What do you think it was?
Jenna laughs hollowly. Jenna laughs hollowly again.
Oh, I don't think it's anything. I must have had my own little breakdown after seeing everyone else's.
Jenna sighs deeply again, sitting back in the couch.
But then you guys came along, and now I think everything is clear.
Jenna leans back for a moment, breathing deeply, and for the first time, it seems like she's relaxing a bit. She turns her attention back to Kudzu.
Hey, Kudzu, is it?
Kudzu nods.
Mind if I use your restroom? I just need a moment to collect myself. And pee, too. An actual toilet would be nice.
Oh, yeah, just right there.
Kudzu points to the thin little white door between the kitchen and the living room.
Thanks.
And with that, Jenna disappears into the bathroom. Kudzu and I sit in silence for a moment, listening to the sound of running water from the faucet. Well, I think we now have a reason to go back to Leo's house. I know he won't be mad at you if he knows you found Jenna.
I don't know about that, but yes, we're going to have to go back with her.
I'll talk to him first, in case he's still out of it.
Again, thanks. I'm glad you're here with me right now.
Kudzu rubs his arm awkwardly.
I get panicky when things get physical, which they have a lot lately.
I gesture at the cushion next to me, and after a moment of hesitation, Kudzu gets up from the recliner to sit next to me. I reach around him and squeeze him into my side. It's cool. Like I said, you saved my ass so many times at this point, it's the least I can do. I almost tell him that he's been there for me more than anyone else at this point, but that feels like a bit too much right now.
It is my path.
Kudzu chuckles and leans back, his arm brushing mine.
I didn't always used to be like this,
What?
A coward.
I scrunch my muzzle up. What? No way, you've been insanely brave. Kudzu shakes his head.
Nah. You saw me at Duke's house. When you got caught and then down in the basement when Leo tossed me out.
Those were all great reasons to have been scared, Kudzu. You still faced all of it. Kudzu looks unconvinced.
I don't know, Chase. After what Leo did, I don't think I was gonna come back.
I shrug. Well, then I'm glad I came after you then. Kudzu's quiet for a moment. Then he chuckles quietly, leaning his head back to stare at the ceiling. What?
Just, I moved to Echo to get away from stuff like this.
Kudzu shakes his head.
Now look what's happening. It's all ridiculous.
Like people going crazy?
That, and guns, and violence. Peyton isn't a rough city compared to others in this country, but it has its rough patches. And I lived in one of those patches.
I think you told me that when you moved here, it was because there were less people. Kudzu sighs quietly.
It's not the only reason. I lost somebody a few years back. I needed a fresh start, I guess.
The silence drags out for a moment as I contemplate that. My eyes drift to the picture frames up by the love seat, to the one where someone had their arm around Kudzu. In it, I see a hare, smiling as toothily as the raccoon next to him, a good head taller than his companion.
But now look where I am.
I snap my eyes back to the raccoon, not wanting to be caught looking. I don't know what to say, so I just settle with, we're gonna get out. Just gotta listen for that train. Kudzu has his eyes closed, so I lean back too. Despite all the shit that's going on outside, there's something really peaceful about being here, next to Kudzu in his neat little trailer. We sit there for a while, listening to the soft rush of running water. After a while, I look toward the bathroom, realizing how uncomfortably full my bladder is right now. Jenna doesn't seem to be coming out anytime soon, though. Listen, I gotta take a piss.
Again?
Kudzu smirks at me. Well, yeah, it's been a few hours. I pee a lot anyway.
Oh, yeah. Didn't
Yeah, I'll be right back. Kudzu's jokey demeanor suddenly drops.
I don't know. I think we should stick together right now. Remember what happened last time?
You want to watch me? Kudzu pauses.
I'll stand in the doorway, alright? Just go by the side of the trailer.
Alright, alright.
Not Flynn, for Christ's sakes.
Yeah.
Huh?
What are you saying? You saying Flynn has a...
Flynn has an everything.
I head back
His
out.
demeanor goes from daddy to daddy in like 0.3 seconds. Let's be real here.
I head back outside while Kudzu hangs back by the door.
Just make it quick and, again, yell if something happens.
It's fine. I'll only be a few feet away. I hide a small smile at how motherly Kudzu's being right now. After everything that's happened, it's no wonder. I move around the side of the trailer, back into the darkness. Quickly, I unbutton, then zip down my fly. I start to go when I hear some footsteps behind me. I look over my shoulder. Kudzu, what? and then 2 massive paws wrap around my body. I look down and get a glimpse of thick claws and brown matted fur. I scream as I'm pulled back into the dark toward the desert. I know who it is immediately. The smell is unmistakable. That and the high-pitched voice cursing as he drags me along through the brush.
Chase!
Kudzu's scream seems like it's only a few yards away. He's going to catch up to us, and then I don't know what. Try to fight Brian off, I guess? But just as I'm thinking that, Brian picks me up off the ground and practically throws me. Next thing I know, my head's throbbing as the back of it knocks against something hard. My legs are splayed upwards, my foot pads pressed against something smooth and cool. I hear cursing and the sound of snarling. Kudzu? Then I hear the sound of a car door slam, and I realize I'm in a truck, my feet pressed against a windshield. Brian's massive bulk squeezes in next to me, and I feel the truck accelerate. The backside wobbles back and forth in the sand as it tries to find purchase in the ground. But then we find the road, and I'm pressed back in the seat as Brian steps hard on the gas. I scramble upright in the seated position, pressing back as far as I can against the door, away from Brian. He doesn't seem to be paying any attention to me right now, with his eyes fixed on the road. My heart hammers in my chest. I can't even start to comprehend what's happened to me. Is this real? Am I dreaming? How did I end up fucking things up so badly again? Brian takes a hard turn and I almost tumble into him. In a panic, I kick my feet against his side, keeping myself upright and against the door. The big bear grunts and glances at me before fixing his eyes back on the road. I quickly draw my feet back, pressing my knees against my chest as I try to hold onto the chair to keep from falling over. I realize then that Brian must have been waiting for me, waiting outside Kudzu's trailer for a perfect moment to grab me. I give it to him by idiotically skipping outside to take a piss, and the result of which I could smell wafting up from my pants. I don't care though. Everything is numb right now and my mind is racing, trying to figure out how I'm gonna get out of this. My paw automatically reaches back to pull at the door handle. It's locked. My paw reaches along the door, looking for the lock. My fingers pass over a small hole, where I assume it would be, but it's smooth. It's like the little nub for the pop-up lock is missing, or it's been cut off. Swallowing hard, I keep searching, and my fingers come across the window crank handle. I tentatively start to roll it down, but it's clear that I haven't thought ahead as Brian immediately notices the drafty air. He lunges at me, one hand still on the wheel. I scream and dodge out of the way, falling into the footwell as I try to escape his massive paws. He doesn't grab me, instead reaching for the handle and rolling the window back up. The truck swerves back and forth as he does, and for a moment I'm sure he's about to roll the whole thing with how fast we're going. He finally sits upright again.
That again and I'll knock you out.
And still he doesn't look at me. It's only then that I notice the stark difference in his demeanor, the stark difference his demeanor has now compared to the first few times I'd seen him. There's no lust, no animalistic drive to fuck everything around him. Instead, there's a sort of desperation about him. I see his eyes dart around the glow of the headlights, the fur all around his face matted down from sweat. I sit there in the footwell, staring up at him, gripping it onto the seat as my head knocks back against the glove compartment. After a few minutes of erratic driving and swerving, I gather my wits enough to speak. What are you doing? Brian's eyes flick down toward me, then back up at the road before he shakes his head. He does it slowly, like he can't believe something. But he doesn't say anything, at least not for a while. Then, after what could have been anywhere from 2 minutes to 20 minutes, he speaks.
And you tell me the truth, boy.
I sit there quietly, contemplating making a jump for his door. to open it and tumble out into the desert. If I wasn't injured badly enough, or if I survived, even if I survived for that moment, for that matter, maybe I could make a run for it. What truth?
What's going on in this town?
Oh my god. I squeeze my eyes shut and let my forehead thump against the seat. Okay, who's messing with their mic? Oh, do you need to go, Harry?
What?
Oh, I saw you said night to someone.
Oh, it's because he said he was leaving, so I was like, alright, night.
Ah, okay, sorry. I thought you were having to go yourself. But yeah, who's messing with their mic?
It's not me, because I can hear it.
Our mic isn't touching anything.
Sebastian,
I just
I
put my
haven't
headset
touched
back
my
on.
mic.
That's why
Ah,
you touched your
okay.
headset.
Yeah, every
Yeah,
time
I
you touch
went
your
get-
headset,
I
it
went-
makes that sound.
Yeah, I went to get
headphones
the
for you,
water.
Sebastian.
No, that is Matt.
No, it's
Matt.
not.
But only for a moment, since I want to be able to keep an eye on Brian. I had already told Duke I have no fucking clue you were there. You were there? Brian grunts as he continues to stare out the windshield, clearly thinking about something. I can't help you or anyone here, Brian. I'm just trying to find a way out. That gives me an idea. Oh, hey, who just joined?
Samuel.
Oh, neat. Welcome, Sam. Alright.
Hey, watch for a little bit.
Wait. I might know of a way to get you out of here. If you let me go, I'll tell you. As soon as that comes out of my mouth, I wonder if I had made a mistake. Brian doesn't need to let me go to get me to tell him what he wants. I'm alone here with him, and he can do whatever he wants to me. And I'll probably tell him whatever he wanted to hear. But he surprises me with what he says next.
Aping isn't gonna fix any of this. We're all still gonna see the same shit.
I wait, but he stays quiet. It takes me another minute to work up the courage to ask. See what?
You know exactly what.
He screeches at me in his high-pitched voice, and the truck swerves precariously. I can imagine the tires sliding off the road for a moment before Brian corrects it.
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
He says it more gently, taking deep breaths to calm himself. Then he looks down at me.
Don't you?
I swallow hard, wanting to find the right answer, but unsure of what that might be. Like when Duke saw something on the ceiling in the diner? That's the first thing that comes to mind. It's something Brian saw with me. He lets out a cold guffaw.
That's exactly what I'm talking about, Otter. That and every fucking thing else.
The truck takes another hard turn, and I brace myself in the little well. The swerves and turns are becoming more frequent. I can't really see out the window, but I'm pretty sure we're heading into the mountains. Was the creature thing going to attack us? Should I warn Brian?
We've all been seeing shit for a long time. Even before this crazier shit started a few days back.
Brian glances back down at me again.
Haven't you seen stuff here?
My mind immediately thinks back to when I was a kid. I'd seen plenty of things, plenty of horrible things. But the psychiatrist had said that it was normal, that sometimes kids hallucinate. I noticed Brian's not wearing his seatbelt, and I started to toy with the idea of grabbing the wheel. Again, I might be killed. But at least it would stop Brian from taking me to wherever it is he's taking me. It might even be better to die. Maybe? But my parents, my friends, they haven't really seen stuff. Except Jenna, and now TJ and Carl after all this started. Brian grins with his crooked and missing teeth.
Seems we only see shit if there's a reason to. I don't know what it is either, but from what I've seen, combination of a shitty experience and being an echo.
The truck is slowing down a little now as we start taking sharper turns. Brian's calmed down at least, but it also means that we're definitely deep in the mountains at this point, the road having turned to gravel.
When I was a kid in Peyton, I didn't see shit, even though I had a pretty fucked up childhood. My mom left when I was 6, because my dad was a piece of shit. But you know she's a piece of shit for leaving me with him. Anyway, you know where my dad told me she'd gone?
I don't say anything until Brian looks back down at me expectantly. Where? Brian cackles and it sends a chill up my spine.
That aliens had taken her.
I press myself deeper into the well, wishing I could have just disappeared into the floor.
I think you must have been drunk. Both. It stuck with me, you know.
I nod, trying to keep the bear happy as he drives along a road so curvy it seems impossible in my mind.
Then, when I was a teenager in 87 or so, I got myself a boyfriend. Well, more of a fuck buddy. We kind of hated each other. He talked too much, but he was a good fuck, and
You can
only-
squeak.
only squeak I knew. So I came here every other week or so to fuck him. But then something weird happened on my second or third trip out here. I remember the moon was red that night because of the forest fires out west. And I kept looking at it, and that's when I saw a flying saucer. Like one straight out of a cartoon with lights and a dome thing on top. I couldn't believe it. But there it was, fucking floating through the sky. You know? Even though it looked stupid as fuck, I knew.
Brian takes a big wide turn, and the truck slows more and more until it comes to a rumbling halt. My ears ring in the silence as Brian continues to stare out into the night, the headlights lighting up his face.
I knew I saw it. That it was fucking evil. I just knew it.
Brian finally looks down at me again.
That night, and almost every night after, I'd wake up, couldn't move, and aliens would be around my bed. There was this one alien that I knew was my mom. She didn't look like my mom. She looked like an alien. But I knew it was her. And she'd do these things to me. Sometimes to my mouth, and eyes, and nose. I am gonna...
Yeah, if you don't want to say that line, you don't have to. I can skip it.
Yeah, we'll skip that.
Brian chuckles, still staring at me.
And I blame my boyfriend for it, bringing me to Echo, because I was sure that was where the evil came from. I outed them that year, and he had to leave town because of it.
The massive bear shakes his head.
Didn't stop the dreams, though.
Brian puts the truck in park, then shuts off the engine. We sit there in the darkness and silence, and even though I just emptied my bladder, I feel like I'm gonna piss myself again.
Never told anyone that before.
I don't say anything as I just breathe through my mouth, trying to make as little sound as possible.
There's something fucked up in this town that makes us see things, feel things from our past or some shit. Duke told me about it, how it's been happening a long fucking time, but he thinks there's a way to fix it.
Brian suddenly opens the door and jumps out. He slams the door hard enough to make my ears pop. For about 5 seconds, I will myself to move, to run, to open his door and sprint out into the night. But my body refuses to move, and before I know it, the bear is yanking open my door and grabbing me by the wrist.
If you help me out with this, we can be done with it for good.
He pulls me out roughly. My legs are like rubber when he sets me on the ground, but he holds me up easily with his paws on my arms.
And he promised me to help. Then I'll let you go, and we'll be free of the evil. Okay?
All I can do is nod dumb. Wow. Nod dumbly. I'm getting to a point where I can't speak.
All I can do is not be dumb.
Yeah, nodly dumb.
We've all been there.
Alright. Gonna be okay, Otter. I promise.
Brian transfers his iron-like grip to my wrist and starts to pull me along. I stumble after him weakly, trying not to trip in the darkness. Brian stops next to the truck bed and starts to rummage around inside. I feel like I'm going to pee again. What do you need me to do, though? Brian finally pulls something out, and it looks shiny and heavy. I open my mouth to scream, and that's when a burst of light comes out from the other end of it. It's a mag light. I stare at it, gaping stupidly. Brian sweeps the beam of light around. All around us is gravel, sagebrush, and some cacti. I have no idea where we are.
I need to get something, and it's in a place that's too small for me to squeeze into. I need your help to get it, okay?
Oh, okay. But what is it? Brian ignores me, looking around. He seems to settle on a direction and sets off, pulling me along with him.
Anyway, makes me think. All these ghosts and UFOs and monsters people see in the woods, I think they're all connected somehow.
Yeah? I focus on trying to keep the bear happy, pretending to be interested in his ramblings. Meanwhile, we're not even on a trail, just pushing through thick brush and sharp rocks.
Yeah, like little bits of echo are everywhere in the world. Some small like a house, some huge like a town.
That makes sense? No, it doesn't. None of this makes sense. But I had to focus on getting away from the bear. I know I should have made a run for it back at the car, but there's no helping that now. We walk for maybe about 100 yards. As we do, the land starts to incline and become steep. Brian even slips up a few times, and I'm worried he's going to fall on top of me. Each time he manages to catch himself, then yank me up after him. After a few minutes of huffing and puffing, we reach a bit of an outcrop with some large boulders. Brian lets go of me and clambers up the side of one, and before I can even think of running, he's turned around and grabbed me by the scruff. I squeak as I'm lifted into the air, feeling like a pup again before I'm set down beside the bear. Brian looks around, keeping a hold of my wrist as he does. After some stomping and looking around with his flashlight, he seems to find what he's looking for. He brings us to the edge of the boulder, then he lifts me up again, this time by the wrist. I kick around for a moment before he lowers me slowly into a dark, spacious hole. I start to wonder if it's going to go down for a while, and I start to panic before my feet touch down on soft, cold dirt. Musty, cold air wafts through the black space in front of me. Immediately, Brian drops down next to me, snatching up my paw again. He shines the light into the dark patch in front of me, and I see what looks like a narrow tunnel burrowing into the side of the incline we're on. What is that? Brian grunts and starts to pull me into the opening, but I pull back. Brian yanks me hard, and it feels like he almost dislocates my shoulder. I yelp loudly.
Oh, did that not?
No, I didn't.
Yeah. Okay. Shut up!
Brian hisses at me as he turns sideways to fit better into the tunnel.
It's the mine, you idiot.
What? I look back at the opening toward Echo, gently illuminated by moonlight. I thought it was sealed.
It is. This is a back entrance. Duke told me about it years ago. Said his family's known about it for decades.
We push through for a while until we come to another tunnel, this one twice as wide as the one we were just in. It branches to the left and the right. And so this scene's actually pretty long, and it's already our cutoff time, so...
Something Brian just said now makes a lot of sense that I heard it again.
Oh, which part?
Him saying Duke said that his family's known about it this path for decades. That makes more sense.
Mm-hmm. This also makes even more sense when you realize when it's revealed that Cliff is Duke's grandpa. So yeah.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Mhm.
That makes sense why they know about it.
Mm-hmm.
He's a main character. He was a main character at one point. Ah, okay. Much more entertaining.
All right. Well, say goodbye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.